Hello, let me just say I don't like either of you.
Well, that's understandable.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
Well, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello, my fellow vapors. It appears that there's people here. Hello, people. Well, Kevin's here. Kevin's here too. Yes, I was a little bit late. I was on the Twitters or the X's for a minute, and I let time get away from me. I'm having a discussion on the Twitters with somebody about the Shogun. Remember the Shogun miniseries? When I was a kid, this was a big deal. But anyway, love you guys. And hello. I see Jason is here, and Addie's here, and Steve is here, and there's some people here. There's more people coming, I think. So we're just gonna chill out for a minute. But let me get Kevin. Let me get Kevin in here. Where are you at? There it is, right here. Oh, there you are. Why are you in the dark?
There, now it's darker.
I just got new lights in here so that it would be even. I had like
it's fucking late. I don't like being up this late. I'm tired and I don't want to look at the light.
I had these crappy like smart bulbs in here that were like
I can't do it anymore.
Controlled by
the light.
The Amazon assistant. I can't say the name out loud because then she'll. But I just went and got regular old bright light bulbs in here. Now it's.
Alexa, tell Patrick to kiss my ass.
Well, you're in the headphones. You're not in the outside, so she can't hear you anyway.
I know that.
So what the hell was your week like? What were you?
Quite uneventful, really. I've learned that I think Logan's now eating possum because he stinks. And full-time potty, though. Full-time. Absolutely, completely just stop using diapers. It's been about 2 months, but it's official now. And next week, let me turn this correctly. You got me till midnight, and if I'm just going to click off and say fuck off, because I got shit to do next Saturday.
Midnight.
I got shit to do tomorrow, but chop. Midnight.
I don't know if we can do a show in that short of amount of time.
Oh, fuck, you can too. So, yeah. I have a long drive, and I'm not in the mood to stay up after. Well, I don't want to stay up till 11 next week.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going about 3 hours away to an event. And it's not vape related.
An event?
An event.
We'll call it that sounds special. That sounds special.
Yeah. I do not need a disco light. Right, at midnight. Right. Jason can take over at midnight every night.
Well, that's possible. He enjoyed himself so much that every time I message him about something, he likes to remind me how much he enjoyed being on the show. And I said, well, I'm sure that Kevin will be sick again, or Kevin will need something to do.
Yeah, I
and
got
that
shit to do.
you'll have the opportunity to come back on again because you were okay.
Well,
And he said, "Well,
you're okay.
don't kick Kevin off for me." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to do that."
No, Kevin's old and Kevin's tired.
How come you don't have a name?
I ain't used to staying
This
up.
is
this
like 5
fucking late.
squares.
It's this. That's what it is. It's
How come
this.
there's just five little squares there on your screen? I don't know.
They're not squares.
They are little squares right there.
It's me pointing at you.
Well, right now, I mean, if you look right there, it's just 4 squares.
Well,
and on Rumble, it's actually 4 rectangles.
Okay,
but they're not
it doesn't
squares. Over
recognize
there, it's
finger
squares.
pointing. Finger pointing. It's this in yellow.
Oh, okay.
That's what it
Sure
is.
it is.
That. Yeah. Sure. So how was your week?
Hell. It was actually hell this week.
Hell.
I had like 50 appointments in a week. I'm only supposed to have 40. I mean, it was hell.
Ooh.
I had way too much work, too many sick people to tend to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, when you Kevin, at your advanced age, you have to be careful. One of my patients fell and hurt herself by rolling out of the bed in the middle of the night while she was asleep. I have another patient that has multiple sclerosis, and his documentation says that he frequently finds himself on the floor beside the bed. So I'm just telling you, people, when you go to sleep, be very careful.
That's right.
Just be very, very, very careful, because the bed could randomly just throw you out like a bucking bronco. Very, 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 very dangerous for you people.
That too.
You people.
You people. A disco light. Ugh.
Disco light. Kevin's too old. He's probably good. He's like one of those people that, the flashing lights, and some video games, they used to have a warning that said there are some flashing lights in here which could cause you to have a seizure. I think Kevin's one of those people.
I don't think it's quite that, but yeah. I wear sunglasses when it rains because it hurts my eyes. Because I'm fair blue-eyed.
I don't like to drive at night anymore, because even when the road is dry, I get a glare off of asphalt, man.
Yeah. All right. So that same glare is me in the sun when there isn't any, and it's just
no, but when you're in the sun, there's a glare for sure, right about here, that makes it look like you have
rain. It still hurts my eyes, and my wife has bitched at me all of our 32 years. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Why does it matter? I'm gonna get some of those. They make prescription glasses now that are like tinted yellow. Yeah,
a lot of people that shoot use those, but I'm thinking of getting those just to see if that'll knock the glare off the road, dude. Because I don't like to drive after dark.
I got those years ago. Those Eagle night vision seen on TV bullshit, and they worked. They actually worked. Of course, I broke them 6 months later. But.
Well, I ordered a pair of glasses one time out of a comic book that said I could see through girls' clothes, but that didn't work.
You just kept looking at yourself. You never got out of the bedroom, did you? All right, let's chop.
Jeffrey Dahmer were those? That's
what?
It's a little bit of trivia in there from Jason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Here, let's look at this, Kev. I got a little video for you.
According to the CDC, high school students are vaping. A concern for Cleveland and Bradley schools. Caleb Figure is Cleveland tells us more about how parents are raising awareness on this use.
Bradley County and Cleveland City Schools came together with parents and a support group to host a first annual Escape the Vape event.
We were bringing in our PTO reps to actually talk about the epidemic that we have with vape.
So PTO reps, is that like parent-teacher organization? Isn't that what PTO is? Because we don't have PTA anymore. It's PTO. So they're bringing in parents to talk about this as if they are experts on the subject matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaping and how it affects people and offering them to be a partnership with us to make a difference in our community.
ATS The Bridge is a nonprofit organization that raises awareness about substance abuse like vaping.
So you got some Delta 8 THC right there.
All right.
And over here in this can, that is definitely not a nicotine product.
Is that
and
cannabis?
Energy.
What?
Well, it's energy drink stuff. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
This is a THC vape pen in the blue right here.
Yeah.
This is an Elf bar, so that's one nicotine product. These other ones, I can't testify to what. This looks like an old Ego battery that doesn't have a top on it, so
it is.
You could use that for this. So yeah.
So does the next one over to the left? I don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a CE4.
I don't know what cake. Well, no, this CE4 is a actual marijuana THC.
Up top, the red one.
Well, this with the fluted. That's not a C4. That's got like a fluted mouthpiece. That's probably a pre-filled Delta or cannabis product.
Well, I have you and it minimized, so it looked like it. Cool. So how do they get the dope?
And Jason, cake is cannabis. So I was right. See,
cake is cannabis.
So it looks like really there's only one nicotine vaping product right here, the Elf bar.
Possibly one, maybe two. It looks like a weird looking Ego on the right.
I don't know what Hidden Hills is, and this over here is
It's the dope. It's the dope.
It's That could be
What
dry
are you
herb
people on
for
dope?
all I know.
And the opioid crisis. Gerald Waldron.
Now we got to talk about the opioids too, just to put the two things in one category.
Well,
ATS The Bridge says it's important to focus on student drug use in the community.
Parents need to know, educators need to know, and students as well need to know about these products that they're using. They're not safe for them.
According to the CDC, more than 100,000 people in the United States die from drug overdose.
The message we're trying to get across to parents.
Only 100,000? That's a lot less than what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Students is that this is not safe. Vaping is not healthy for you. You have the risk of addiction. You have the risk of the chemicals.
Chemicals.
The Cash for Bradley County Schools says substance abuse in vaping is a critical concern. However, with parents' help, Dr. Cash hopes the Escape the Vape campaign will end student vaping as well as support their well-being.
I think you put it in the forefront, so it's no longer a hidden conversation, but it's a conversation that's within the community. So it's on the billboards, it's on social media. We are combating the target of our students. We want them hearing from us and not from other players of drug use and vaping.
Reporting in Cleveland, Caleb Figures, News 12.
According to the CDC.
According to the CDC, and
I got it.
Jason is correct. That young man that was narrating that was not very good with his enunciation and pronunciation.
He had a potato in his mouth. Steve, no. No. I got a question, though. Now, when I was a kid, and it was a long time ago, they did that just say no thing in my early mid-teens,
Mm-hmm.
Or so, 80, I guess. So we're in mid-teens.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That was,
that too. The focus was drugs, Nancy and Karen and Kevin and Bill and whoever the fuck you are over there in Cleveland. I'm in Ohio, by the way. It was drugs, bad. Okay. And then, well, smoking's not so good for you either, kids. And then, you went to other things, but when did we as a society shift from they're just doing drugs, it's all right, but oh my fucking God, they're vaping, we got to stop that quickly? How does that work? How does that shift happen? Right? It's rhetorical. but it pisses me off and gives me a headache. We're concerned about the opioids, but you fuckers better quit vaping.
Well, I mean, and again, I don't want to come across as the guy that's bitching about pot, which is quite popular.
I'm not.
But they are pushing to legalize the fuck out of vape or out of pot in all forms, as if pot couldn't possibly lead to any other illicit substance use.
No more than any other could lead to another. That's
So,
all I gotta say.
I mean, these are the same people that are pushing the THC and the cannabis.
Yeah.
Are the same people that are pushing for nicotine vaping to be banned and legalized and demonized.
Yep.
And along the way, let's go ahead and just unscientifically misinform everyone.
Yes.
About it. Yeah.
But your height of your conversation is vaping and then other stuff. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, what's wrong? Are you having trouble at school? Well, I'm being bullied and sexually harassed, and teachers want to touch me.
And the doctor, the teachers keep spying on me while I'm pooping.
Come on,
strip searching us and all that. Yeah, turning everything into a surveillance state.
And what's wrong with our kids?
Later in the Rumbles, you're going to hear about the surveillance state. Got a couple stories about government surveillance. You guys are just going to love the shit out of that. But
leave me alone. I sent you something off topic, by the way. If anybody's,
I did that made its way into the Rumble list.
I'm just saying, it's because it's just off topic, but quite important. I thought
that made its way onto the Rumble. That's gonna probably be the first or second thing that we talk about.
Ooh, damn! I don't think I've submitted anything that made it there.
Wow. So this says 16-year-old killed in Gulfport after argument over vape pen.
So you're going to tell me that Karen from PAVE has done the eulogy for them, right?
Right. So
okay, good. Just checking. My gall.
A 16-year-old has died after an argument over the sale of a vape pen, according to Gulfport police. That's Gulfport, Mississippi, by the way. Investigators said police responded to Kenwood Drive around 2:15 a.m. on February 12th after receiving a call about a shooting. They located the body of 16-year-old Zaylin Braxton in the doorway of a home. During the investigation, detectives learned 18-year-old Elijah Eckford had traveled to Braxton's location. Officers said the two argued about the sale of a vape pen before Eckford shot Braxton and fled the scene. Gulfport police said the driver of the suspect's vehicle was identified as 21-year-old Tashawn Holloway. Another occupant was identified as 21-year-old Christopher Fletcher. Police said Holloway took Eckford to the location on Kentwood Drive, waited for him until he heard the gunshots, picked Eckford up from the scene, and fled the area. Eckford has been charged with 1 count of second-degree murder. Holloway has been charged with 1 count of accessory after the fact, and Fletcher has been charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana. This is what happens when you criminalize things, when you turn things from,
that's right,
I can buy it on the counter at the grocery store, or not the grocery store, the convenience store, vape shop, whatever. And then we turn it over into a black market situation because we already told you there's no such thing as a safe black market.
No, James.
And the 3 suspects are being held in Harrison County Adult Detention Center until their bonds have been set by a judge.
Good.
So this is what happens though when the mommies, the Chardonnay mommies, the Zinfandel mommies, the whatever you call them, mommies from PAVE,
Patrick, they're adults.
Get people whipped up and scared about something they really shouldn't be scared about, everything gets pushed into the black market, and illicit drugs cause illicit things to happen.
And it doesn't matter if it's underage use or not.
Well, no, you're correct.
It just makes it worse when it is. That's all. Another child.
What was Michael Redfern saying? There's no illicit market.
No, we were promised there would never.
There won't be no black market. That's according to the head of the FDA.
Them fuckers in Australia said it. We've said it. I think Canada has said it. No. We can control it.
No. We're in charge here. Nobody's going to do what we don't want them to do. But Kevin, you just said.
I just said
that your grandchild.
Yeah.
Had a malodorous.
He's eating possum or squirrel or I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's very proud.
very, very proud of his dukage, huh? So this here's worrisome to me because this says study shows sense of smell is impacted by vaping.
Oh Lord. Go ahead.
I gotta know here because if your grandchild's, malodorous emanations are still detectable by your dulled sense of smell,
then I'm
okay. This scientific study might not be this might not be good science at all. But let's see.
It's all bullshit. But I'll let
you. Sensory changes may be an unexpected side effect of vaping. New University of Otago research shows. The study, carried out in collaboration with the National Institute for Health Innovation and published in the journal Appetite. What kind of journal is Appetite? Is that like a culinary journal? Anyway, assess the potential effects of vaping on the sense of taste and smell among young New Zealanders. Lead author, Dr. Jessica McCormick of the Department of Food Science, says results show non-vapors find sweet smells more pleasant than vapors. There was no difference for taste or savory smell. Changes in smell and taste are often linked to dietary changes, so it is important that we understand the effects of vaping long-term, particularly in those who are not former or current smokers, said Dr. McCormick. Participants were 213 people over 18 who used vapes regularly, occasionally, or never. They were classified as vapors or non-vapors based on their use in the past 6 months. Here's a quote here. Another reason might be that nicotine enhances the reinforcement of stimuli, so in the absence of nicotine, sweet smells might seem less pleasant. During the study, they tasted and smelled different tastes and odors diffused in simple solutions. Participants rated the pleasantness and intensity of the smell and taste samples and did a simple sensory detection test where they had to guess between a plain water sample and the taste/smell of a very low concentration, or at a very low concentration. Dr. McCormick says the results are fascinating. Fascinating.
That's fascinating. You know what fascinates me?
That somebody actually paid for this science to get
that they don't know. Yeah, they don't know, and they have no idea what the fuck's wrong about vaping, but they know how to check for sense of smell. You fucking idiots. This could be done 10 years after you figure it out. So if you figure it out first, and if this says more research is needed at the bottom, I'm going to squeal like a pig.
I bet you $10 it says that, because they got to. That's what they got to put on their next grant application, Kevin.
We're concerned.
We just published this piece of paper.
What was it, 212 or some bullshit story about however fucking many?
I don't know what you're talking about.
How come their anecdotal is okay and our anecdotal is not? Anyway.
Because we don't have the PhDs.
Fuckers.
Yeah. We know smoking can be a cause of smell dysfunction and taste changes, but the mechanisms that cause smell decline in smoking, what? Smoking can be a cause of smell dysfunction and taste changes, but the mechanisms that cause smell decline in smoking might not necessarily apply to vaping. So it was really interesting that we found a difference between our vapors and non-vapors that is consistent with studies with smokers.
Might, because they probably are also smoking, but they didn't care about that part. So the might is in there. It's modal.
They probably smoked before they vaped. And we know it takes a while for all that to filter out, right?
My taste and smell was back within a week for me. That was me. Because I was like, oh, wow, shit, that tastes like crap, whatever it was. You know.
Well, yeah. We still have more. We still have more we need to know.
There you go.
About what mechanisms might be here. It is related to the use of flavors or nicotine or a combination.
Pigs at the trough. We want more money. Pigs at the trough.
Have more we need to know. Okay. Yeah. Sweet vape flavors are the most popular, so vapors may be overexposed to them, she said. So senior author Dr. Mi Peng says these findings also have some implications on vaping effects on eating behaviors among younger people. We need to look at these effects in a future study soon.
Oh, absolutely. That way you can
get
more money.
They did it twice, Kevin.
Thank you, Eddie.
There's still some more there.
If I can figure out what the hell is bad about it first for me and then think about the other bullshit stories. This is fodder. This is just extra bullshit that anybody can figure out later on if it's even true and who even cares, really.
Somebody does, I'm sure.
Well, they do. Ming Lee P or whatever
I'm sure that the grant writers have to care about shit too, because you know that's how they decide where the money goes.
This is the best we got. So when you guys hear more research is needed, you question that.
Twice.
Might.
They said there is more we need to know.
We just don't know.
And then the next paragraph said we need more. We need more. We need to do more research.
And all these
in
people,
there twice.
They're 18, right? I don't know the age offhand. Let's say they're all 18.
Yes,
their brains aren't.
They said they were all over. They said they were all over, Kevin.
Over 18, so their brains aren't completely developed yet. So they're trusting people that don't know, cognitively what the fuck they're doing, and neither do they. And that's my final assessment on that one. Next.
I think Kevin has diarrhea of the mouth again.
I just want to see if you're betting on how many times I'll say fuck tonight.
I'm just waiting for you to pause in between sentences. Have you been how many cups of coffee did you drink today?
64.
All right. Here we go. Yeah. You'll like this one, Kevin.
I don't trust you.
I'm sure. It says 5 Eltham school kids in hospital after using zombie drug vape.
Oh my God.
And this, I saw like 6 or 7 different versions of this same story.
Evidently, they don't go to Cleveland schools.
So just be prepared.
You got suckered in and hospitalized.
5 school kids in Eltham were taken to a hospital with one left in a coma after reportedly using a vape laced with the illegal drug spice.
That's a new one, I think. I've not heard.
We've already warned you about the dangers of cinnamaldehyde and cinnamon vapes. That's a spice, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a bad joke.
I know, it was really punny. It was punny.
Oh my God.
Police officers were called to reports of a number of students feeling unwell at school on January 20. Now, if you had a whole bunch of kids that felt like ill at school.
Yeah.
Would the cops be the first people that you call?
Absolutely. Because they might be able to do something.
I would think you would be calling the ambulance.
Well, who's in charge is I guess who determines that. But
yeah, some of the kids suffered symptoms including a reduced level of consciousness, vomiting, and confusion. Well, Kevin is currently just demonstrating 2 of those. He's not vomiting, but reduced level of consciousness and confusion. Our president is currently also exhibiting 2 of those.
The more shows I do with you, the dumber I get.
Yes. It is thought by police that they have ingested a vape liquid which contained the drug spice. It is thought?
Thought. Yeah. There you go.
Thought? Did you not send this to the crime lab to get tested?
No, they're cops. They know stuff. I mean, they do. You can look at them. They're authoritative.
It is thought.
Authoritative.
My phone just buzzed at me, but it's just the wife. It's not important. One of 5 youngsters was placed in an induced coma and was later revived and recovered.
Revived?
Yes.
Are you revived from a coma?
Well, if they put you in a medically induced one, they can revive you from it. Yes.
Well, I thought they woke you up from it, not revived you. Revive is death.
No, they do a Lazarus thing. Arise, Lazarus! Just
Jason, have you ever arose anyone?
No, he's usually the one that puts the formaldehyde in them.
Well, it depends. I mean, if he's able, he could, may or might.
He could be doing like Dr. Frankenstein stuff. We could go to his place of work and pull out one of his drawers, and there could be like a patchwork guy right in there.
He could revive somebody. It could happen, I guess.
Could be like that movie where they thought the girl was dead and they started to do the Y incision, and they pushed the scalpel in for the first bit of the Y incision, and
she said, "Hey."
She sat up and went, "Ah!
Hey, stop that!" Yeah.
A spokesperson for New Scotland Yard said, "We are aware of illegal drug products being sold in vape form by illegal drug dealers. We understand that these vape products may be described to those buying them as containing THC, which is a compound found in cannabis. In recent weeks, 4 vapes have been sent for testing, and all were found to contain the drug spice rather than THC. This included one of the vapes recovered after an incident in Eltham. Our message to the public is clear. You should never buy illegal drugs since you simply do not know what these products contain. We have been liaising with the Office of Health Improvement and Disparities about this issue. Spice is known as the zombie drug because it can leave users in a zombie-like state, according to health experts. Now, is it a zombie-like state like in World War Z, where they run really fast? Or is it a zombie-like state like Night of the Living Dead, where they're like, or is it kind of somewhere in the middle, like 28 days later? Because, there's a big difference.
What? Well, I don't know.
I mean, zombie-like can mean a bunch of... there are a lot of different zombie types in movies and programs and things.
It's descriptive, yet very vague.
Yeah. Parents, carers, and schools are being alerted to this problem and are requested to seek medical assistance if appropriate. Police inquiries are underway to establish the full circumstances. It is unknown which school in Eltham the incident happened at. The full statement from Metropolitan Police says on Monday, the 29th of January, officers were called to a school in Eltham after a number of students reported feeling unwell. 5 teenagers were hospitalized as it is thought that they may have ingested the vape liquid. Ingested, not inhaled. Ingested, yes. They drank it, Kevin.
Well, it's the same, only different, right? Well, you're there and I'm here, but we're together, but we're not anywhere near each other. I don't understand.
Yeah, no.
More studies are needed.
We are appearing via telepresence.
So if you're underage and you get illegal crap, and then it's tainted, or you've got your buddy tainting it because he thinks it's going to be funny,
We're talking about taints. I don't want to hear anything.
Well, I thought Paul was here. If you're risking your life that way, that's your choice, even if you're underage. But you gotta be careful with who the fuck your friends are. That's why I stay as far away from Patrick as I can.
You don't have any friends.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
My brain just keeps getting worse and worse today. What is that?
Worse and worse.
Worser.
Yeah, worse. Worst.
It's worser.
Worser. Yeah. There. Let's. Wow. Here. Let's there. Look at this one here. Video games can save everything, Kevin. It can fix all of our problems.
Well, you can't vape and tap your hands.
Well, you can get a rig that holds it there, like a harmonica thing, you know?
Yeah, well.
Classrooms are filled with distractions, phones, Apple Watches, tablets, and even e-cigarettes.
We did find that that's one of our biggest problems.
The vaping crisis is hitting schools across the nation, including high schools and even middle schools here in Connecticut. Melillo Middle School in East Haven.
It's very accessible to students, and so it's easy to get. We do find that
it's easily accessible to students, Kevin.
Well, nobody talks about that. They don't care.
Now, who's in charge of accessibility?
Retailers first, then
and
other adults and parents.
Who polices the retailers?
Oh, the FDA, who supplies people to do so with contracts. No, we don't want to talk about that shit. We don't like that word.
But I mean, Michael's down here saying so is cannabis and alcohol, but those products are not really easily accessible because they're age gated. I mean, I would assume that cannabis is age gated. I mean, I live in a state where you can't get it, but
yes, you can.
I mean, well, you can. I mean, Willie lives here and he somehow survives. But you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, so how easily accessible? I just don't. I don't think accessibility is. I mean, obviously because of the black market, which they say
down the river. Babies down the river.
It happens in school. There was a period of time where it would even happen in classrooms. It's very easy to hide.
Okay. Have you ever seen an e-cigarette that looks like an inhaler? I mean, I've seen some pretty off-the-wall shit, but I've never seen one that looks like an inhaler.
I've seen the claim since around 2014 or 15.
Right, and I've been around the block a time or two, Kevin. I mean, I've been all over this fucking country at events, and I've never seen this.
But
I've never.
But it's a visual trickery for the parents who don't know any better. Oh,
and
crap.
Literally, the stock footage that they're using, this is like 7, 8, 10-year-old hardware in this. I mean, that's an MVP 2 over there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Missy. I saw your friend using something that looked like an inhaler, and I don't care if she has asthma or not. You're not going to be around her anymore because she's a bad influence.
Well, see, we've done Chase Michael away.
Good. Oh, he'll be back.
Just make the girl walk home, man.
Maybe he's got to be.
He's got to take his kid's girlfriend home. Just tell her to walk home.
Hide.
Principal Darcy Doyen says staff has caught plenty of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders vaping during the school day.
It came down to you couldn't ignore it.
Well, they're not smoking.
No, wait, whoa. So it came down to we couldn't ignore it? Is that what she said?
Well, let's back it up.
Let's make sure that I'm going to be a smart ass for a good reason.
Plenty of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders vaping during the school day.
It came down to you couldn't ignore it. And so when we were seeing it in...
That's what she said. It came down to we couldn't ignore it. I mean...
So we let it go
Isn't
on.
a
and then we
violation of
really
the
didn't give
rules
two
something that you
fucks.
shouldn't be ignoring? Why are you muted?
And eventually we said, "Oh, okay, that's enough. I don't understand the comment, ma'am." Chuckleheads
Jason
are
says that this hallway, the school hallway, looks like a prison. Now, I myself have no firsthand knowledge of what the inside of a prison looks like, Jason, because I've never gotten caught. So, I'll take your word for it.
She looks like a prison warden.
Restrooms, in hallways, in classrooms. You can't ignore it.
That's why school leaders
Well, you
started
could.
looking for creative
You
ways
did.
to stop it at the.
Now, if I had a teenage daughter, Kevin, this is how
Yeah.
this thing in her nose would never happen.
I don't understand. What is in her nose?
Now,
earring.
she's got a damn nose ring. Yeah, this is at least on the nostril and not on the septum, because we all know what a ring in the septum is. Do I need to explain to people that that's how you lead animals around, so that aggressive animals, you just grab them by the ring and drag them around. They will follow you anywhere you tell them to go. That's the last message I would want my teenage daughter to be, broadcasting to the world.
Root of the problem. The answer not found in a textbook, but rather a headset. Researchers at Yale are creating a virtual reality video game called Invite Only VR to directly combat vaping.
So your job as the player of the game is to navigate through difficult peer pressure situations.
Right now, Joseph Malillo Middle School.
He wants me to dance. He wants me to jewel, which is a verb, apparently. Juul's literally almost out of fucking business now, and they're still using Juul. And he wants me to vape marijuana.
I can't. I don't understand how adults can even think of this shit. I really don't. Here, when you're in my classroom,
you don't Juul. How about dabbing then? Dabbing.
What happened to rules? Are there none? Is it like a free for all now? Anarchy.
Let's just where's the dad with the belt? That's what this video game needs. Jason says, "Oh my God, these people are fucking stupid." Yes, that's true.
I don't understand. I wouldn't want my kid, 12-year-old, doing this. I'm going to exclude him from this activity.
Well, no, this is the invite-only VR experience, Kevin. You have to be. This is for the creme de la creme. This is the
only the vapors can go in.
Only the cool kids can get into this because it's the invite-only VR game.
Well, we'll test out the game in health class this spring. Each student will put down their pens and pencils and instead use a virtual reality headset and 2 controllers.
We know that kids really enjoy playing video games, so if we can package this really important vaping prevention education material in a game, in a narrative that's
now, if they put me into this when I was in school, I would purposefully make all of the bad decisions. Well, of course,
Well, absolutely. It's a funny thing.
It's like the
National Tobacco Patrick,
Survey.
What did you do? What'd you do, Patrick? Did you smoke the pot? Yeah, I did too. Fuckers.
Did you get to the part in the game where you got to snort a couple lines of coke?
Oh my God.
The only thing that this hair needs is to be tinted purple or blue.
Blue. I'd prefer blue.
To match the progressive haircut.
Are they going to get to the resources that the cost of this bullshit?
Well, depending on what platform the VR headsets and all that, Apple just released their new one. It's like $4,000 a piece.
You got 10-year-olds getting pregnant. We talked about a month ago.
Oh dear God! Don't remind me of that.
16-year-olds dying, and they're going to put a little fucking VR set on these kids because they don't want to enforce the law or rule in their case in their school, and they don't want to talk about the access part because that's not their problem. But it's not in my backyard, so I'm here and now we're tired of it. So we're going to give you guys headsets. You're just making me growl. I don't understand.
Since your parents and grandparents just want to be your friend, they don't want to have a conversation with you, we're going to have to put this little silly video game together to teach you the things that your parents should be teaching you at home.
Yeah.
Compelling and interesting to kids, they're going to be more likely to sit through all the material and actually attend that health class.
As a player, you're fully immersed in a
Exactly.
high school setting, playing a
nothing to do
character
with
named Mike, who is a freshman, trying to get an invite to an exclusive party.
Matthew is trying to get him to vape in class during health class where they're learning about vapes.
The player navigates through different challenges and answers how they would handle each problem while learning about vaping statistics and the dangers along the way.
Depending on the answer, you're going to have a different story outcome.
The goal is to target sixth grade students.
So different story outcomes. So is one of the story outcomes that you vape and then at some point end up in prison for murder? Because I mean that's what this is. Oh well, if you've made this one bad decision, well, let's show you how far that goes. And
so these are sixth graders. Sixth graders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To their language interest to get them to say no.
Now, is that girl's name Yummy? Did I just see that?
I don't know.
Speaking to their language and interest.
Yummy.
Yummy.
To get
so
them
they're
to
teaching,
say no to vaping before they.
They're teaching about peer pressure and choosing an unrelated subject.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, this video game is about vaping, but somehow they're showing two young individuals sitting on the couch with a third individual laying across their laps.
Anybody got any Mad Dog in here?
So this is where the orgy begins, apparently.
Oh, God. I didn't see that coming.
Start, or if they have started, quit altogether.
So hopefully by simulating that peer pressure situation and arming them with tools to refuse, they'll be able to take that and actually apply it to their real life.
Students across Connecticut have tested the game in focus groups and helped with some of the characters' vocabulary to give it that authentic feel. Researchers say so far, the response from the testing phase has been overwhelming.
It's oftentimes the kids that are most excited about it. And then when parents get an opportunity to see the effects that they have.
So they're so excited about it because instead of actually working on class material for whatever class that you're in, you get to put on a virtual headset and wander around and act like an idiot.
Wow. This is the experience that the kids have. I think that excitement is kind of contagious.
And that excitement is helping to inspire other games to be created to combat other issues in schools or communities.
We'd love to see it become a national program. And I think we'd also like to see the technologies used for other issues.
We don't know anybody actually in a school administrative community, do we?
I don't.
I
don't. I mean,
because
Jason is a mortician. I don't know what Steve does. I don't know what. I think Addie does woodworking for a living. I don't know what Addie does.
If you take a survey of adults, not idiots, adult school administrators and staff, and you say, what are the top 5 problems? I would think food issues, because they can't pay for their food, as an example, which is always over the news, and it's always buried at the end and nobody hears it.
Mm-hmm.
And self-esteem and the normal things that children are going through, and some new things that children are going through that I probably don't even understand. And vaping would be like the 9th thing down.
It would be a low priority item. Definitely.
Of all fucking things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So during my dive into looking for stuff to talk about on tonight's 2 segmented show. One of the pieces that I decided not to cover was about prohibition. Yeah. And specifically, it turns out that the younger folks today are actually drinking less and smoking less because they are already used to people prohibiting them from doing things.
They're conditioned,
and they're fine with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are. They don't know their rights.
Yeah, I skimmed through it and decided I didn't want to talk about that, but I am just anecdotally mentioning that this piece is out there, and you can find it if you just do a Google search for prohibition and scroll down a little bit on the news tab. But yes, it seems like Generation X or whatever they're calling that, not Generation X, Z or whatever the fuck they are used to prohibition, are less likely to resist prohibition, and are already drinking less, dating less,
and trying to encourage prohibition,
having less relations than previous generations. And well, I mean, we have a whole generation of boys that are more interested in playing video games than looking at girls.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
And this educational video game here is just another example.
So I think we feel like we're really at kind of the ground floor, and the sky's the limit.
Researchers say once the game rolls out in East Haven this spring, they plan to make it free and available to everyone, so other schools and even parents at home can utilize the technology for their kids and their students. Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news state.
Hey, Patrick, do you think that was given to them for free?
Well, I'm sure somebody got a grant, man.
Somebody paid for it. I was good. I was glad to see, and it's good to see, that Alan from 2.5 Men got a new job. I appreciate that. You fuckers need to figure out what you're doing.
This, Kevin, I have you frequently here. You may recall, I have been critical of so-called advocacy groups.
Mm-hmm. You have
often wondered what the fuck these people are doing.
Yeah.
So, this week I actually saw somebody from, it was Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Allison is with Zapata, right? Is that right? I think she's with Zapata. Or she's with one of them, and she was retweeting this thing from VTA. Which I didn't even, they were quiet, or Jason says she's with ATM. So I've been kind of, are they still around? Are they doing anything?
I didn't know.
I sent a tweet out recently, well, it's been a month or two ago, where Allison responded, well, I send out tweets all the time. And, well, that's good to know that you're tweeting. But she replied. She was sharing this thing from VTA, which I saw, and I'm like, oh, well, this is actually okay. So let's just watch this video from VTA here.
All right.
I kind of like it.
President Biden wants to cut cancer deaths in half by 2050. The good news? America already has one of the easiest ways to achieve Biden's cancer moonshot: broad and universal access to flavored e-cigarettes. The bad news? The FDA has a de facto ban on e-cigarettes. This isn't the first time FDA got it wrong or has misled consumers about what's safe and effective.
No, they're the gold standard. Remember, I have a whole video already showing how the FDA is the gold standard when it comes to
absolutely
regulating our food, our drugs,
that's right,
and apparently our tobacco products. Okay.
Well, it just doesn't work.
Come on, man.
Cold medicines
is not effective.
Come on, man.
The Alzheimer's drug.
Third FDA advisor has now resigned after the approval of Biogen's Alzheimer's drug.
So this is an Alzheimer's drug that study 1 showed that there was no benefit, and study 2 showed that 22% showed a 22% reduction in cognitive decline.
That's correct. Michelle.
Which one was that?
Talking about Alzheimer's. There is no cure.
No.
But they're working on drugs.
Yes.
To help you.
Yes.
But they're not working on a cure.
No, the
Anyway.
treatment is way more lucrative than curing, Kevin. Just
let the record show.
I'm sure you know that. That's why we don't have a cure for cancer. Even though, Kevin, this week, the oligarchical dictatorship of Russia announced that they were on the verge of a cancer cure in Russia.
No, well, that's not going to be good because then they're going to get blown off the earth.
So again, the Russians came out with a statement like 2 months ago and said, "Hey, I mean, not in these exact words. I'm not quoting them exact, but I'm summarizing.
Well, it was in Russian.
Yeah, well, that Russian consumers deserve the freedom of choosing a reduced harm product, so they are not going to ban vaping in Russia."
We're living in an alternate world. You couldn't have told me when I was in high school that I would hear anything resembling the word freedom from the Russian side of the world. I thought that was like unimaginable word that they could ever use.
Yeah, I'm just
Michelle.
Come on, man.
Here's the thing. Government officials have used harm reduction in response to every public health crisis. Free condoms.
Oh, I have a whole thread on Twitter about this too. Really, the A to Z
rubbers.
Needle exchange programs, subsidized crack pipes, widely available Narcan, fentanyl test kits, and ad campaigns.
Now, let's go back here just a little bit because I want you here. Did you see this part? Did you notice this part?
Subsidized crack pipes?
Yep. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Widely available.
I think it was just because they said it that way. I mean, I know that they handed out the safer smoke kits a while ago, but yeah.
Narcan, fentanyl test kits, and ad campaigns.
We focused on prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery.
So it's nothing less than public health malpractice.
So you got a bottle of PG, a bottle of VG, some flavors over here. Other container that is not labeled. This is a nicotine. I have one right here. It's not white plastic. It's black plastic. But yeah.
Practice that the same FDA is simply ignoring the science on e-cigarettes. Smoking is the #1 cause of cancer in the U.S. and kills nearly 500,000 Americans every single year. That's more deaths than COVID, HIV, heroin, and opioids combined. And e-cigarettes, including flavored e-cigarettes, are especially important for health equity since marginalized Black, low-income, and LGBTQ plus Americans smoke, suffer, and die at a higher rate.
Huh, Kev? Did we already knew that, right? Did we? We did a show about that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're still on the ball here. I want to make sure that the VTA is not like faster than we are.
But even though e-cigarettes are the best harm reduction tool available on the market, FDA leaders are scaring the public and doing everything they can to rip vapes out of the market and out of the hands of everyday American smokers who are in desperate need of this harm reduction alternative to cigarettes. Enough is enough. It's time FDA FDA ends the hypocrisy and its bureaucrats get out of the way of President Biden's cancer moonshot.
Come on, man.
Americans need a wide variety of flavored e-cigarettes approved now. For more information, visit vaportechnology.org.
You know, I think I need somebody that has better skills than I do, because all I use is paint, to make that FDA stone sign that they use, just make it a headstone. That's what it should be. That should be a headstone.
Yeah. Could be.
Federal death of Americans.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Do you know what time it is, Kevin?
Holy shit, is it really? It's already? Damn, we're moving along. It's Vape Cats. Tweet.
X.
You say X.
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the week.
Let's get one of these up here real quick. This is one of yours. This is from Alan Beard, Kevin.
Ah, Mr. Beard. Old farts vaping. I love Al. On his old farts, I did it that way because I wanted to see the old farts vaping. On his how many years have you been a sole vapor? No ciggies. If you click on that, that is a poll he did. And that was actually the reason for. Oh, it's still got a day left. Crap, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
I guess it shows, if you do that, it'll show you. Then okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. 45.9% of us have been around for 10 to 15 years, Kevin.
So let's just pretend we were all 11 years old when we started. Then we're at least half of us, or about half of us, are legal now. So there you go. Huh. Isn't that neat? And there's Richard, and there's Al, and there's
Rob
Rob.
Cameron, and there's an ad, and then Chuck, and Ivana, and Damp Fahrenheit.
I know.
Damp Fahrenheit, free height.
Follow that Twitterer.
And Ivana again, and vaping like crazy in Arizona, and Jeff Van. Lots of people.
That's right.
Lots of people.
So yeah.
So then you sent this one, which is a video of some dude. Here, let me.
Yeah, it's not a political statement for anybody that's listening. No sound.
It's been a long day. It's
There you go.
basketball season. You're from this side of the state, you're blue and gray. Everywhere else is probably go big orange. And you're meeting your buddy after work to watch the game. They have the burgers, you got to get the beer. So on your way home, you go to your local convenience store, you walk in, you go to that cooler, the beer's not there. So you go to the counter, talk to the clerk, and they tell you, well, last year, a bill was passed that banned the sale of cold beer in the state of Tennessee.
Okay, that's enough.
Has already gone through
They don't even know the rest. They don't even have to know the rest of it.
I can't even hear this. So there is a story about this later that we will read that is more easily hearable because I will be reading it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, here's another one. This is from Derek. We haven't heard from Derek in a while because he's no longer in charge of Smoke Free World. But it says here, more powerful evidence that vapes significantly help smokers seeking to quit. Compliments to Cochrane Labs, Cochrane Systemic Reviews. Physicians need to act on such evidence to save the lives of patients who smoke. AVM, CDC, US FDA. I agree, Derek.
More
like that. And then we have one from Don Green, Kevin.
Don Green.
And this says a new study from the Swiss National Science Foundation again shows that the addition of e-cigarettes to standard smoking cessation counseling resulted in greater abstinence from tobacco use among smokers than smoking cessation counseling alone. Well, of course.
Huh. So my message to all of you fuckers who think you're smarter than everybody else, Michael's back. And did you see Michelle? If you don't know enough and you're of, let's say they're 50-50. Let's just pretend they're 50-50. I think it's like 90-10 against. But let's say it's 50-50. Half of you are wrong and half of you are right.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear both sides come to a conclusion, because now we're putting video games about vaping in schools, and I find that silly when we have way bigger problems in the world than that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think instead of putting kids in a VR world, the teachers putting kids in a VR world, they should probably start working on filtering out the fucking pedophiles from the teachers.
Well,
ranks.
if they're in the VR world, they can touch them without them knowing it.
Yeah.
And then they can just say, well, no, that was part of your game.
And then here, Stan McChapman. Stan McChapman. This seems like a trap here, Kevin. To clarify, people use stimulants. Yes, they do. Coffee, tea, others. Using nicotine is not an unnatural thing. If folks wish to initiate nicotine use, let them begin by vaping. It's approximately harmless. It's not a medical thing. It's simply pragmatic. Embrace it.
So safe, it's over the counter.
It's practically harmless, according to Stan McChapman.
I'll take that.
Yeah, practically.
Well, tell me the harm.
Well, somewhere between 5 and 0% of the harm of smoking cigarettes.
Well, then there you go. So I'm not quite sure what we're really worrying about. But
according to the science, Kevin, approximately 0 to 5%.
And according to the propaganda, it's very dangerous in any form. Booga booga boo. Spooky language.
Vaping, even just one time, can kill you, Kevin.
It may, could, or might. Quite possibly turn you into a zombie.
I saw a study about that. It said vaping, even just one time.
Was that the brain thing and those worms and?
Hey, Kev, did you watch the Super Bowl?
No.
You didn't watch the Super Bowl?
I go back and forth. I don't really.
I didn't care for either of the teams this year.
I was rooting for the Bears. The Bears didn't win again, I heard. So I don't know. I'm just lost until next year.
The Bears.
But I was rooting for
my wife told me that I had to pick a team. So I selected the Kansas City Chiefs just because their quarterback, his name is Patrick.
Oh, yeah. Is that?
So I was showing loyalty to my brother Patrick's out there by rooting or by selecting that team.
Yeah.
And they were behind for about 75% of the game, Kevin. And my wife was studying. She had an exam this week. So she was in the room studying. She has like 9 chapters to memorize for this test. So she's in there, and every quarter she would come out and go, "Your team is losing," and I'd be like, "It's not my team. You forced me to select a tide." And then when they won, she came out and goes, "Your team won." I was like, "Still not my team."
See, yeah, but you picked it, so it's your team automatically.
Well, I picked it because neither one of my real team was not there, so
neither was mine. But I'm rooting for them.
Now that the Aussies have banned vaping, pretty much, essentially. Here, this one says it says deeply concerned. Schools issue warning amid new nicotine trend. A dangerous product that has been. No. Quit talking. Let me read. Then it says a dangerous product that has been popular in Scandinavian countries for decades, however, are now making a splash in Australia.
Egad.
A new nicotine trend linked to oral and throat cancer has put schools on high alert as shipments of the new vaping method continues to flood Australian shores. Shores. Nicotine pouches, also known as snuff or snus, have been popular in Scandinavian countries for decades. However, are now making a splash in Australia. Kevin, which countries in the world have the lowest incidence of tobacco-related cancer?
I'll take Sweden for 100. And by the way, just for fun, I'll take. How the fuck can they have a problem already 30 seconds after they banned vaping? It's already a problem.
Yes, forgive me if I'm correct or incorrect here, but it says Scandinavian countries, plural, but aren't snus banned in Finland and Norway because they're a part of the EU?
I don't know the specifics. That would have to be the Juka answer for that.
Well, I'm almost 100% positive that they're only pretty much
I'll trust
legally
your
available.
judgment.
I could be wrong. Jeffrey's in the room. He was just at COP10. I'm sure that he'll have a better understanding of that. But anyway, the pouches, which are small sachets, are placed between the cheek and upper gum and contain synthetic nicotine. No,
I want a sachet.
Snus are not synthetic nicotine, boys and girls. Snus are actual tobacco with regular natural old nicotine, whereas nicotine pouches are not tobacco and are indeed synthetic nicotine. Two different products. You see, they're already they made a false allegation about cancers, which is bullshit because we destroyed that argument like a decade and a half ago. And again, the countries that make these products and are their most popular in have the lowest, almost zero tobacco-related cancers in the world.
Yeah.
So that would be a lie. Survey says that's a lie. Snuff has been a way of taking nicotine for centuries, with the indigenous populations of Brazil using ground tobacco hundreds of years ago. However, the product has never taken off in Australia. The federal government says they are aware of the trend and admit further reforms may need to be considered to combat the influx of imports.
Well, automatically, Patrick, I'm going to assess that Australia doesn't want this shit in their country because they're already allegedly coming in and they don't like it. So that's my opinion. Just mine. Mine and mine alone. I'm responsible for that.
Yeah.
Look at you with your little round can.
Did you see me holding up my snus?
Raj.
Velo and Zen are indeed nicotine pouches, not snus.
They are indeed all, if I remember correctly in the list, less harmful than.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. They have actually certain brands have qualified for a reduced harm tobacco product label here in America.
Yes.
They can actually legally market their products as safer than smoking.
Yes.
Because the FDA has received their science and said you are allowed to say that because your evidence shows a lot of strength and proof. But anyway, Health Minister Mark Butler saying he was deeply concerned about the rise of new nicotine pouches. Oral tobacco, otherwise known as snus, not all oral tobacco is snus, has been banned from sale in Australia since June of 1991. We condemn the widespread marketing and use of nicotine, especially marketing targeted at our children. Jeffrey is in the chat room quoting Bill Hicks at me.
I love Bill Hicks.
I know, but he's quoting it at me. Despite being illegal to sell and buy in Australia, black market merchants are taking advantage of the government's vaping ban, which was introduced on January 1st.
Well,
Hey, at least I'm not seeing Houston Oilers caps on my screen right now. None of these are my teams, so I'm good to go.
And Michael already called this a few minutes ago. Now they're just making shit up. These guys are making shit up.
Well, I mean, obviously, since they said that there's some sort of science out there that links snus or even oral nicotine pouches to any sort of mouth cancers is a lie. It's a lie.
Mr. Butler, if it's illegal already, then why are you worried or concerned?
Do your job.
I mean, because, well, hey,
No, it's easier to go on TV and complain. Jeffrey says, when I need a cap, I just have to watch Patrick's browser.
You find the one you like, look it up.
Well, for years, it was Boston Scally ads because I have a whole collection of those.
And now I'm going to get them again.
Now it's
Victor!
baseball caps.
Victor's
Soon it'll be Death Wish coffee advertisements because that's. Did you see Victor just walked in?
Because you I said that because you said it. Now it's going to happen again.
Yeah, watch.
You said that like 6 months ago with the scallywag thingy, and then all I was getting was your fucking hats. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Nicotine vapes have always been illegal to sell in Australia. However, they are regularly illegally sold by convenience stores, tobacconists, and online retailers. Legalized Vaping Australia boss Brian Marlowe said these same stores are now starting to sell nicotine pouches to make more money. These nicotine pouches are being sold by the same guys that are importing dodgy disposables and trying to sell them through their crime syndicates and to target their kids. It's really sad when Legalized Vaping Australia is throwing around their own arguments against another product.
Where's Paul? Paul, get on that idiot.
We got to teach these Australian people that they can't, they can't turn around and bite somebody.
I don't approve or care or like the patch or the gum, but it's because it's me. I'm Kev. That's just me. But if you want to try it, it is an option you can try. And I'm not going to tell you no any more than I would for Juul or any more than I would for Snooze or any more than because I didn't even know what the hell that was 10 years ago or any of the other products that are available. If somebody's telling you as sternly as they do and sternly as they have, any way you can quit is the most important thing you can do for your health. And then they tell you, but not that way, then they're fucked in the head. There,
yeah,
got that.
So I do have to. I'm because I've already said negative things about the American trade organizations and the American advocacy organizations tonight.
No, well,
directly or indirectly. Now I have to attack the Australian, what I'm assuming is a trade organization and not an advocacy organization because he's defending. He's pooping on Zen. He's pooping on disposables.
Put on everybody.
Just to prop his own side up. Whereas you should.
It's conjecture.
Like Michael Redfern said, save all the safer alternatives.
That's it.
Instead of shitting all over Zen, instead of shitting all over disposables,
or
fight
patches
for
or
your
gums.
shit. Yeah. And Jeffrey says he really likes 77's caramel tobacco nicotine pouches.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah. I really like any of these 3 Scotch whiskey tobacco nicotine pouches called
Like
Snus.
Like a seagull. Seagulls are just better looking pigeons, really.
No, Flock of Seagulls is a really great band. And I ran so far away.
All those
they had
all
really
those
cool hair.
asses, they did in a really bad first video. So all those assholes that were down in Panama, not including
Jeffrey
present company,
was in
not including present company, kiss my ass. Those fuckers over there.
When
that
you
wouldn't
start
let
a sentence
Jeffrey
with
in,
all those jerks that were in Panama,
that were in the COP 10 bullshit. not the good cop, bad cop. Don't put words in my mouth. Want you to quit
I didn't.
any way
I just
you
listened to the
can.
words.
Any way you can.
Yeah.
Except those ways, then they're full of shit. That's it. Mine. They sent the cops on you. Oh my God.
We don't have bail money anymore, Jeff.
Man.
Kevin already spent it. I mean, it was David's
Just
bail
saving
money,
it for myself.
Could have saved it. We could have sent it, but so yeah, he goes, let's start this over again. It says, these nicotine pouches are being sold by the same guys that are importing dodgy disposables and trying to sell them through their criminal syndicates and to target their kids. They've realized that, hey, if a kid doesn't want to buy a dodgy disposable, maybe they want to buy a nicotine pouch. Between January 29th and February 2nd, New South Wales Health seized 284 containers of the product across 60 Sydney retailers. The trend has seen a massive boom in Australian Instagram and TikTok accounts selling the products online, which are packaged in brightly colored and flavored containers. Are the containers flavored, Kevin?
I don't think they are. So it looks like there are. I am not. But there
it's
are
not flavored.
mutual. There are mutual friends with who I'm assuming that is, and I don't recognize any of them because it won't show me who they are. But except for a couple.
Jeff said he almost called us to start a GoFundMe for bail money. since we didn't go,
we'd have been like on a 2-hour marathon for you. You know that.
We'd have had to do like a whole 24-hour marathon. Send money to Panama for our friends in jail in Panama.
And then everybody would have said, is Van Halen getting back together?
Panama.
That's right. Man.
You know, the Pope once chastised the American military for blasting that song over and over again in Panama.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's how they fished Noriega out of the. He was in a Catholic church, or he was in there, and they were blasting him with Panama. Yeah. At least it wasn't the safety dance, because they used that in Biodome.
I didn't see that either.
You never saw the movie Biodome?
No.
Oh man, you gotta watch that movie. That's funny. That's actually it. That's the
I
only
I smoked a lot of pot and slept.
That's the only Pauly Shore movie that's worth watching.
I know of it. I've never watched it. I've never watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Well,
Australian comedian Fergus Neo recently posted on TikTok talking about the recent trend with the video reaching 2 million views. It's becoming like really big with Gen Z. It's meant to be like 20 cigarettes at once, he says. Oh my God. So now they're quoting a comedian off of a TikTok video as some sort of expert opinion on this.
It's a reliable source, of course it is.
Yeah. Now, I don't know that I really like a brand called Killa Cold Mint. Killa. I mean, it's poor grammar. It's, on some accounts, snus is also being advertised as a way to steer away from vaping and save your lungs. However, the pouches come with their own health concerns. Australian Medical Association President Professor Steve Robson said the effects of nicotine pouches were relatively unknown, with reports for Scandinavia displaying links to mouth or cancer in both the mouth and throat. They really need to just fire all of the college professors in Australia. I mean, you got this guy, and you got the Tahir Turk guy. He's a college professor, and he's constantly spouting unscientific stupidity. So we are extremely concerned about addicting young Australians to nicotine pouches without knowing much about them. I mean, snus, we have over 100 years of science. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Millions of pages of documentation and science in there. Yeah. We've already had this massive battle with vaping. Yet another thing comes along. Dr. Su Ching Yo from Australia Dental Association said nicotine pouches can also cause shrinkage of the gum where the pouch is placed. That's why you don't always put it in the same place. This is relatively new area and not a lot of research has been done yet. The trend has been seen in schools, has seen schools on high alert with vaping already a major challenge for teachers. As nicotine pouches are illegal in New South Wales, they are banned in our schools. The New South Wales Education Department said in a statement on news.com.au, students' use of nicotine products is primarily a health issue that goes beyond the school gate, requiring collaboration between parents and schools and more education about the dangerous impacts of these illegal products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick, coming from the holler where you were in, I'd imagine with all the gun wrecks, you had some friends, if we can assume you had them.
I did. I do.
Who had the obligatory circular imprint on their asses.
Uh-huh.
And the gun racks in the back of the trucks.
You're describing all my cousins.
And the the red man packs and all the concealable ability the patches and the gums are concealable, right? So
yes,
if a child who is illegally, I don't know what it's snoozing, I don't know what it's called,
snooing
or zooning or zinning or whatever, they're going to conceal it way better than they would for the vaping thing, and that's probably okay. And then there could or might be some kids might get a little sick because they've got too much nicotine. Maybe they might get that Nick sick thingy bobber going.
Kevin, speaking of the holler and guns, I did just see a video on YouTube yesterday of my next acquisition.
All right.
And since you brought up the holler and guns, I want you to see the next new gun that I'm going to buy.
All right.
This is awesome.
Ooh. What is it?
So the ATF hates this weapon, and here's why.
I just love it. I want it. I'm going to buy it. I don't care how much it costs.
What is it?
I'm going to shoot pieces of paper until it's a gun. It's essentially an AR-15 with a pistol grip.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
But it's not an AR-15. It's the same rifling, same size, but same everything. Can even accept magazines from the AR-15. So if you already have one and you have, and it'll fit right in my backpack.
Easily concealable?
So that I can go shoot pieces of paper whenever I want.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. Whenever I want. See, freedom. That's,
Yes, I like shooting pieces of paper. Yeah.
I'm still concerned about my boating accident, so.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that is always that is
tragic.
Yeah. Because Jeffrey says not a lot of anti-harm reduction people enjoyed that.
What?
Hey, that toy it's meant to only shoot pieces of paper. It's fine. It's fine. So we have another piece here, Kev, while you are, hiding from our friends over at Reason. And this is the Volk conspiracy. They always have some really good pieces on Volk conspiracy. But down here it says, when doctors are the source. Oh, there's advertisements for hats, Jeff. When doctors are the source of public health misinformation, medical doctors are often unaware of the relevant research on the relative risks of tobacco products that can matter for public health. And this is Jonathan Adler, published today at 12:30 p.m., just after lunch. Most Americans understand that smoking is harmful. It remains a leading cause of preventable death in the United States. A growing number of Americans do not understand that vaping and non-combustible tobacco products are far less risky. In a recent interview, Jacob James Rich and I explored why this might be. One source of public misunderstanding could be that doctors are often unaware of the extensive research concluding that vaping, while not risk-free, is substantially less risky than smoking, such that were all smokers to switch to vaping, tens of thousands, if not millions, of premature deaths could be averted. While reports by the National Academy of Science and Public Health UK, among others, have concluded that vaping exposes users to significantly lower contaminant levels and is likely to be substantially less harmful than smoking. One recent study found that 60% of doctors believe all forms of tobacco are equally harmful. Kevin, did you hear that? All doctors.
That's what I heard. I heard it.
All forms of tobacco and 60% of doctors are stupid. While some medical professionals are simply unaware of what can be said about the relative risks of smoking versus vaping, others seem intent on spreading disinformation. For instance, there's a TikTok by a cardiovascular surgeon claiming that vaping is significantly worse than smoking cigarettes. This is an outrageous and unfounded claim. Worse, insofar as this message is internalized by current smokers, it could discourage them from switching to less harmful sources of nicotine. Note, even if the claim is based upon experience with EVALI victims, suggesting that EVALI is a consequence of vaping generally, when EVALI has been linked to black market THC vaping fluids containing vitamin E acetate, is still quite irresponsible. There is no documented case of EVALI that has been linked to conventional vaping products. Not a single one. None.
Zero.
Zilch,
nada. Nothing.
There, according to the Surgeon General at the time,
oh fuck,
it would be inappropriate for doctors to actually test the victims of this disease to see if they were actually using illicit THC vaping products, because that would somehow create an error of distrust between patient and physician.
You'd have a teenager breaking the law distrust you. Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because nobody wants that.
And he said, how dare you make that kind of suggestion to me, Patrick?
You fucker. He called you a fucker. You just didn't read it.
He did. But he also forgot. He also forgot that above in that thread, he himself announced to medical professionals and healthcare providers that they should collect all samples of unused products and send them to us.
Yeah.
So I still wonder, did they actually send him these samples of unused products?
They didn't send
and
him shit.
Where are these products, and why haven't we seen any release on what the labs said were in those products?
I'm trying real hard not to say Jerry's name.
Jerry. Fucking
idiot.
Yeah. So it says here, it is one thing to discourage vaping as it is not risk-free. There is limited evidence about its long-term effects. Well, I mean, I've been doing it for over, almost 15 years. I don't know how long-term you want. I mean,
I got 10. Jan's got 10.
Let's ban it so nobody can use it. And then 20 years from now, we'll say, well, we really don't know what it does because nobody did it. Everybody stopped because we banned it. So we don't have any long-term studies.
No.
See how that works?
We need more long-term studies.
We need long-term studies, but let's ban them so people can't use them so that they can't get the data.
The only stuff we just want to know if your smell's better or worse. That's because that's important, and then we worry about the other shit.
Again, though, we know, Kevin, if you're saying that your grandson's poops are extremely powerfully odoriferous, then your sense of smell is not dead. Just when we were talking about grandchildren's poop, Nick shows up.
I'm trying really hard to catch him vaping, and he's 5, so I'm assuming he's right on that cusp of trying, and he hasn't yet. Yeah, I'm using the big words tonight. Yeah, I brought them all out.
Do we know anyone that knows anything about wiring old DNA boards? I have this wonderful mod.
Yeah.
The only problem is when you put a battery in it, see right here above the charging port, there's a little light.
Yeah.
There's a little light. So even if there's nothing plugged in here, that little light comes on. And what it does is it drains the battery.
It's got a short.
So I need somebody to come in and take out. I never plug in my mods to charge them. I always take the battery out.
Why don't you?
Why don't
you Twitter it and then you'll get somebody to answer?
I don't know anybody, but I really love this mod, and I know Nick has one. So that I show this because the company that makes this was in Israel. I don't even know if they're still alive. The Palestinians could have gotten them by now. I don't know.
Duct tape.
That doesn't fix the light. The light is still going to be on under the duct tape, Steve.
Just drop
and the battery is still going to run out. Yeah, because I would really, because me and Jason was talking about side by side devices like this one.
Yeah,
this is another one. Nick says that they're still alive, but I don't want to send it all the way to Australia. Some Palestinian guy could steal it, and I wouldn't get it back.
Well, you got friends in the industry, right? Well,
I don't got friends in Palestine.
You know people.
Not in Israel. I don't have.
I'm sorry. I have to apologize to the audience for making the assumptions that you have friends. My apologies.
Kevin. But, I do know that there is a new Anakin side-by-side device coming out soon. I've received word from Greece with a video showing the device, which I then offered to beta test and was told, so does everybody. Everybody else wants to beta test it too. I was like, but I'm your friend. He says,
you don't have friends.
Yeah, see, exactly.
So my suggestion is that you take a picture of your little device, and you've got all that extra room you pay for on there, and say, this is what it's doing. Who do I know that can either tell me how to fix it or fix it for me?
Yeah,
and I'm willing to pay $500 or whatever it is.
I'm not willing to pay $500 for it.
Well, then
I want somebody I want a friend that. We have a friend that's an electrician in the chat room.
Well, that's an electrician.
He knows about wires and shit.
That's electronic. There's two different things. He also may know about electronics. I'm not saying he doesn't.
I'm sure he knows about wires.
But yeah. I knew about electronics, but I wasn't an electrician, is why I say that.
Well, I know about bombs, but that doesn't know I know how to make them.
But I did Mickey Mouse stuff, So.
Yeah, I know how to blow toilets up and stuff, but I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know how to actually make the bomb. I just know how to drop it into the hole and push the flush button. It is one thing to discourage vaping, as it is not risk-free, and there is limited. Oh, I already read that. Yeah. The latter is misinformation, and the sort of misinformation that could cost lives. So that was the Volk conspiracy, when doctors are the source of public health misinformation, by Jonathan Adler, published today.
Well, they are.
Now Nick says send it to me and I can work on it. Yeah. Like I'm gonna.
Well, then
he'll have two. Maybe. Then he'll have two, and I'll have none.
Are you insinuating something in front of me? Well, there, Michael. Michael's got soldering and. See?
Yeah.
Good try, though, Nick. I appreciate the effort.
Oh, this next one is kind of a stupid one. I'm kind of concerned.
Well, who sent it? You or me?
No, I mean,
Oh, not the source, the actual thing. All right.
The actual piece is stupid.
Nick, I was rooting for you. Don't.
This makes me scratch my head about Kentucky, which
Don't we all?
I mean, they make good whiskey there, right? I did, just saying.
That's about it.
Well,
Nobody will answer me. Do you take your shoes off out of respect when I cross the bridge out of Cincinnati? Is it required or anyway?
Cincinnati.
When I leave Cincinnati,
why in the hell would I ever want to go to Cincinnati?
Well, you got to go through Cincinnati the way I go through into Kentucky to get to Kentucky.
Oh, is that how that works?
I didn't know what the protocol was.
Here we go. Here's a new era cap commercial on this video.
Michael or Jeffrey, somebody asked how many ads how many hats you look for a week.
I haven't looked at hats since last week. Here, let's present this video. Let's present this video here. All right, let's see.
A Kentucky lawmaker is trying to crack down on teens vaping at school. House Bill 142 passed the House Education Committee. It would ban all tobacco, alternative nicotine, and vape products in public schools in Kentucky. Districts would create a plan to...
So, isn't it already federally illegal for a minor to possess or buy these products?
As soon as you stopped the video, I thought, boy, he was reading my mind. How come lawmakers aren't working on access, compliance, and enforcement, Patrick? I don't know why.
What I want to know is why are they passing a law? They can't pass new laws to make important changes, but they can pass a new law that is not needed because it's already illegal. You know what I'm saying?
But that makes them look like they're doing stuff. It's busy work. It's pay no attention to the man behind the curtain kind of thing,
I'm sure that there are other pressing matters in Kentucky. Probably a huge, massive crystal meth issue that they need to work on. Tons of other issues. But, let's pass a bill that doesn't really mean anything because
none of it has meant anything since
it's already illegal for minors to possess or purchase these products.
I personally predicted they were going to recreate the problem that they had. That's what they did. They changed it to 21. Oh, geez, we still can't control it. It's exactly what they did. You're welcome.
Yeah.
To punish students and take the products away. The goal of the bill is to help districts enforce anti-vaping policies. FDA and CDC released a new report saying more than 2.1 million youth currently use e-cigarettes. The bill now goes to the full House.
Currently is wrong.
So Skip says the federal minimum safe age or sale age is 21, but state and local places aren't all 21.
Correct.
Technically, doesn't matter what the state and local law is. Federal always trumps local and state. So if the state says, or the federal government, for example, says it's illegal, it is illegal. Now, in the case of marijuana, for example, it is federally illegal, but some states have passed less restrictive bills. The only reason that the DEA isn't going into those states and arresting people is because at the time, Obama issued a presidential executive order instructing the DEA to not do their job.
Stand down.
So technically, it is illegal, but there is a standing executive order that has not been removed because Donald Trump didn't do it, and Biden's not going to do it. But it is technically illegal. Federal law always, especially if it is more restrictive than the state or local law, it is illegal.
It will turn to 21 eventually, no matter what, in states, because they're going to threaten funding, and that'll be that.
Well, that's what they did with booze. That's what they did with, Louisiana, for example, when they were pushing
they do with cigarettes
to increase the local drinking age to 21, which
you don't get no money if you don't apply. Comply, rather.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yes, it is illegal federally, and some states haven't gone to the trouble of passing different laws, but it is still federally illegal, which means it is illegal, regardless of whether the state or local has a less restrictive law in place.
And no more politically incorrect term grandfathering anymore either.
No.
Like they did booze. They did booze
Unless
for
me. Well, no, booze, they screwed me on because they did get rid of. They did get rid of the grandfather for me because it was 18 for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. That is true, Skip. That is true. That doesn't mean that the local law enforcement are. But if FDA were to go into a state and they do actually have contracted enforcement agents in every state to do mystery sales and so forth, they will be fined federally. But the funny thing is, in most cases, the contracted officials in most states are the state boards of health or the state tobacco enforcement agency, and they will do it, and they do it because they get to keep any fines that they levy. So yes. And those mystery shops and stings are not listed on the FDA website. So in Texas, for example, say the Texas Department of Tobacco Enforcement is the governing agency in Texas. FDA doesn't have a tobacco enforcement division in Texas, so they subcontract to the state agency. So then the state agency goes and does stings and busts vape shops all over the fucking state, and they collect a $2,000 or $3,000 fine for each one of those. All of that money goes back to the state tobacco enforcement agency, and those people do not get listed on the warning letters list or the FDA list. So when people say, well, there's no vape shops that are selling illegally, I know for a fact there are, because I know 3 or 4 people that have been busted for it, and they don't get listed on that website because it was a state enforcement agency working on behalf of FDA that did it. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, because the one vape shop that was right here, it's not here anymore, that was right here, they got busted 3 times and they were never listed on the thing. And the guy, I think actually did a show when they asked me to help them write, because the first thing, they got a small fine and they had to write a letter essentially saying how they're going to correct their behavior so that it doesn't happen again. And they're like, can you help me write this letter? And I'm like, no.
You don't know how you're going to correct your behavior?
You need to fire the dummy that sold to a 16-year-old kid. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And maybe quit letting your staff play Xbox while they're working.
Well, you know.
Have them clean. Your store looks like shit, man.
Maybe they were in the virtual reality world or something. You know.
Could be. Is this the same one? Oh yeah, this is the same one. So we're not going to cover that one, Kevin. The last one is a repeat of the one that we talked about, the smell earlier.
Oh,
it's just a different headline. So, Kevin,
what?
We've actually reached the end.
Oh my God, I might go to bed
in an hour and 50 minutes. In an hour and 50 minutes, we've actually finished all of the vaping stuff.
Holy crap!
Holy crap! That is correct,
man.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-vaping articles. Yes. 7. 1 from you about beer in Tennessee.
Yep.
We have 1, 2 about censorship, and 1 talking about a bill that's also about censorship. It's a Florida bill that would restrict the state of Florida from contracting social media censorship companies. We have another one about RFK Jr. winning a lawsuit against social media. We have one about how your car is spying on you and reporting your activities to the federal government. And then we have one about warrantless wiretaps and surveillance on American citizens. So
Steve, we're going to the Rumbles.
We're not done. We're not done. So all of the rest of this content has nothing to do with vaping, has everything to do with government, like restricting you, government spying on you, and stuff. Yeah.
And stuff.
And stuff. So I invite each and every one of you to follow us over to the Rumbles, where we've titled that show Government Peeping Toms.
The Rumbly Tumbly.
Because Kevin wants to go to bed. So we gotta go. We gotta move. He's getting old and he doesn't want to hang out with us for too long anymore.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
So I am gonna slap the Rumble link in the chat.
See what Nick said, right?
The majority of time they are juveniles who are looking to use diversion program and become shoppers because they're bad kids. So, and probably make like $25 a store.
So they can buy more vapes.
Yes.
Them darn kids.
Hey, Nick, if you follow us over to the Rumbles, I can show you the new gun that I'm buying. I know how because Nick is into guns too. Nick is a firearms instructor.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's say goodbye to our friends that aren't going to go to the Rumble. We love you. We'll see you in 7 days. For the people that are going over to, and Victor's already over in the Rumble. So said I'm here.
See.
Yeah. See, there's some people that love us that will follow us to Rumble, even though Skip is saying goodnight with 3 exclamation points.
She's gonna troll us.
I'm
really worried about Mark, though. I really am.
I wish Mark had his own cell phone. And a Twitter account so that I could follow him. Ooh, she's gonna go write a speech. She's going to send it to me, and I'll read over it.
Ooh.
I won't need to edit it because it'll be perfect by the time I get it. But since I'm not going to the speech, I would like to see what you're gonna say.
That's right.
Put X on his phone, Skip.
Well, does he know how to download it?
And then tell us what his handle is. So
have him call me.
Because he knows how to use it because he took pictures of her with her cell phone. And then and posted them, so he knows how to do it. So
have him call me, leave a message because I won't answer the phone anyway. And if he leaves a message, I might see it in a day or two, and then I'll call him back and tell him how. Maybe, I think.
But anyway, we'll be back in 2.5 minutes over in that other place. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, over there.
Mm-hmm.
Science is back, and I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated is doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader. Not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic.
Epidemic? I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking. Kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things.
What a stupid son of a bitch.